Hi, Grace Point family and friends. For who shall I vote? We are in the voting window for the 2022 midterms. You should have received your ballot by now. If not, you should definitely follow up. This is a critical election cycle. As followers of Jesus Christ, we are responsible for being active in our citizenship as God's people on earth. Proverbs 14:34 states, "Righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people." Who exalts a nation? The Democratic Party and its candidates? The Republican Party and theirs? According to the above verse and others, neither. But instead, it is righteousness that exalts a nation. So for whom then shall I vote? The word righteousness in Proverbs 14:34 is not referring to an individual's right standing with God by our position in Jesus Christ. Instead, it refers to God's moral standard as found in his moral laws. As Christians, we must honor God and uphold his righteousness in society. It is one of the ways that we operate as salt and light in the world. Christians are responsible for partnering with God as proponents of his righteousness through civil government. Elections are not about personality, but policies and positions. When considering how you will cast your vote for candidates or initiatives, you must give it the God's righteousness test. How will God's righteousness be best served by you as you cast your vote? The contrast between the two major parties are stark in this election cycle. There's much that is at stake. The party platform distinctions are not merely sociological and economical as they historically have been. So many of the distinctives are biblical and moral matters. They are matters of righteousness. The sanctity of human life and family are critical issues for any Bible-believing Christian. The following depicts the political party platforms for both parties on these vital matters. So, who affirms life and its sacredness from conception to the grave, and who does not? Who affirms gender identity as male and female, and who supports transgender ideology and assaults against kids? Who is for law and order and supporting our law enforcement officers, and who's not? Who's for parental responsibility and rights to raise their children and make the necessary moral and medical decisions for their kids? And who desires instead to defer it to the schools and the government? Who's for personal freedoms and constitutional rights? And who wants to increasingly restrict our freedoms of speech, religion, and more? There certainly are other topics to ponder as you consider how you will cast your vote. The above issues, though, are critically important to Christians and an excellent place to start. Your ballot must be dropped off in a ballot box by November 8th, and the closer to November 8th, the better. Let's be faithful to God and to our fellow citizens by voting our faith. God's grace and love to you. Pastor Heath Rainwater.